We call our home the blue planet. From space it shines like a majestic marble of deep blues, a world seemingly defined by its abundance of water. This creates a dangerous illusion because water always seems to be there. But this vision of endless water is just that, an illusion. Most of the water on our planet is not usable for us. 97% of it is salt water. The remaining 3% is fresh water, but most of it is locked away. Less than 1% of all the water on Earth is available freshwater, found in rivers, lakes, and underground aquifers. This is the water that must sustain all 7 billion of us. This is the great paradox of our time. We live on a water planet, yet we are facing a future of profound water scarcity. This assumption has led to rampant waste, pollution, and mismanagement on a global scale. The illusion of abundance is shattering against the harsh reality. We are waking up to a crisis that has been building for decades. The signs of our global water crisis are visible everywhere, etched into the very landscape of our planet. Once mighty rivers have been reduced to trickles. Vast reservoirs are shrinking. This is the daily reality for a growing number of communities around the world. Imagine waking up to the urgent need to find water for your family. Countless women and children walk for miles, their journey a desperate pilgrimage for water. In urban centers, families wait in long lines for water trucks. The crisis strikes at the heart of our ability to feed ourselves. Farmers pray for rain that no longer comes. The struggle of these farmers is a warning for us all. As the pressure mounts, water is transforming into a source of conflict. This is the new reality, a world on the brink. In rural landscapes, far from cities, the water crisis has a human face. It is the face of a young girl, perhaps 10, whose day begins with an empty jug. Her story is shared by millions. Before sunrise, she sets out on a relentless trek for survival. The winding trail leads to the nearest well, miles from home. The journey is a test of endurance. A silent procession of women and children share this burden. This is time stolen from education and income opportunities. Reaching the well doesn't end the struggle. Sometimes the queue is long. The water itself is often not clean, carrying invisible dangers. But there is no other choice. The journey back is more arduous, a reminder of life's challenging necessity. This cycle traps families in poverty. For these communities, the water crisis is a heavy burden carried every day. It is a barrier to education and a constant obstacle to progress. In booming megacities, the water crisis wears a different mask. Here, aging infrastructure is pushed to its limit. For the affluent, water flows. But for those in slums, the reality is harsher. Life revolves around the water truck, an unpredictable lifeline. Long, desperate queues form, a tense scene where tempers flare. The only option is the informal market where vendors prey on the vulnerable. Families spend a significant portion of their income on water. The lack of clean water creates a breeding ground for disease. The struggle for water fuels social unrest. The modern city reveals its fragile underbelly, unable to quench the thirst of all its citizens. Across vast agricultural lands, the water crisis unfolds. Climate change brings erratic rainfall and severe droughts, leaving fields barren. Farmers turn to irrigation, drawing from shrinking rivers and depleting aquifers. This success comes at a steep price, forcing an impossible gamble. Every planting season becomes a high-stakes bet against nature. They face agonizing choices: what crops to plant, what technology to invest in. For many, the gamble ends in failure, leading to debt and loss. When farms fail, food production declines and prices rise. The farmer's gamble is ultimately our gamble. Our food system is built on a foundation of water that is rapidly disappearing. A thirsty farm cannot feed a hungry planet. Climate change is a primary driver of our escalating water crisis. For centuries, humanity has relied on predictable weather patterns, but the burning of fossil fuels has disrupted this balance. The consequences are unfolding rapidly, with water at the heart of it. Glaciers and snowpack, natural water towers, are melting at an unprecedented rate. This causes devastating floods and threatens to dry up rivers. Rising temperatures intensify the water cycle, leading to extreme rainfall. This results in flash floods, soil erosion, and landslides. Intense downpours are followed by severe droughts, creating a cycle of flood and famine. This unforgiving climate is redrawing the map of water availability. Regions are becoming hotter and drier, pressuring water resources. We are entering an era of climate-driven uncertainty, challenging our ability to adapt. Alongside climate change, Our growing population is straining our planet's water supply. In the last century, the global population has quadrupled. This growth places unsustainable demands on freshwater resources. More people means less water for everyone. Modern lifestyles and economic development further increase demand. Wealthier nations consume more, embedding water in every product and food. Expanding cities require massive water diversions, creating imbalances. By 2050, 2/3 of the population will live in thirsty urban areas. We've pushed past critical thresholds. We're using all available freshwater, pushing the system to its breaking point. We're living on borrowed time with no clear plan for the future. The crisis we face is fundamentally about water quality. Pollution renders water useless or dangerous. We've treated our water systems as sewers, shrinking our freshwater supply, poisoning the well from which we all must drink. It's a toxic cocktail threatening human health and ecosystems. Pollution sources are vast, from farms' fertilizers to cities' sewage and industries' heavy metals. Contaminated water is a leading cause of illness and death worldwide, creating a global public health crisis. This pollution creates conflict and inequality, a battle often favoring powerful economic interests. The fight for clean water is a fight for environmental justice. Water is indifferent to political lines. Over 260 river basins are shared by multiple countries, creating interdependence. These waters are a lifeline for nearly half the world, providing drinking water, agriculture, and energy. Cooperation has led to treaties for mutual benefit, like the Danube and Mekong agreements. But climate change and population growth are straining cooperation. Rivers are becoming sources of geopolitical tension. Upstream countries control flow via dams, securing resources but devastating downstream nations. The Nile and Indus rivers exemplify how water control creates anxiety and mistrust. Water wars could become reality as nations compete for dwindling supplies. We must shift to seeing rivers as shared global resources that must be protected through international law and cooperation. Otherwise, rivers could divide us, creating dangerous mistrust. In the global struggle for fair water distribution, some of the most powerful and persistent voices belong to the world's indigenous peoples. For countless generations, these communities have lived in a deep, symbiotic relationship with their ancestral lands and waters. Their cultures, spiritual beliefs, and traditional knowledge systems are intricately woven around the rivers, lakes, and aquifers that sustain them. Water is not seen as a commodity to be bought and sold, or a resource to be managed solely for economic gain. Instead, it is revered as a sacred living entity, the lifeblood of Mother Earth, and a relative to whom they have a profound and ancestral responsibility of care. This sacred relationship has put indigenous communities on the front lines of a global battle. They often reside in resource-rich territories that are targeted for large-scale development projects, such as hydroelectric dams, pipelines, and mines. These projects, frequently planned and executed without their free, prior, and informed consent, can have catastrophic impacts on their way of life. Dams can flood ancestral lands, destroy sacred sites, and decimate the fisheries that have sustained them for millennia. Mining operations can contaminate their water sources with heavy metals and toxic chemicals, poisoning the very element they hold sacred, and rendering their lands uninhabitable for future generations. From the Amazon rainforest to the plains of North America, indigenous peoples are rising up to defend their water and their rights. They are the guardians, standing in opposition to projects that threaten the ecological balance of their territories. The fight at Standing Rock against the Dakota Access Pipeline became a global symbol of this resistance, uniting indigenous nations and their allies in a powerful movement to protect the Missouri River. These are not merely protests, they are acts of profound cultural and spiritual resilience. They are an assertion of sovereignty and a demand that their unique relationship with and knowledge of the environment be respected by governments and corporations. The struggle of these communities offers a crucial lesson for the wider world. Their traditional ecological knowledge, developed over centuries of careful observation and stewardship, provides invaluable insights into sustainable water management. They remind us that the fight for water is not just about technology and infrastructure, it is a moral and ethical issue. It is a fight for justice, for cultural survival, and for a more balanced and respectful relationship with the natural world. In their unwavering defense of the planet's most precious resource, the guardians of the water are not just fighting for their own future, they are fighting for all of ours. As water crises intensify, ordinary people worldwide are rising up. From city streets to rural villages, grassroots movements are demanding change. These are mothers, students, farmers, those directly affected by water injustice. Protests erupt over unaffordable tariffs, privatization, shortages, and pollution. The social contract around water is breaking down, but collective action is making a difference. In Bolivia, the water war reversed privatization. In Ireland, mass protests scrapped water charges. When people unite, they can challenge powerful interests and win. The message is clear. Water is a human right, not a commodity. Decisions about water must be democratic and accountable. The people's voice is shaping the future of water justice. Amid crisis, human ingenuity offers hope through rainwater harvesting and desalination. Rainwater harvesting, an ancient practice, is being revived globally, from homes to entire villages. Capturing rain reduces reliance on stressed systems and helps recharge aquifers. It empowers communities to secure their own water and reconnects us to the water cycle. On the modern front, desalination turns seawater into fresh water, vital for arid coastal regions. Large plants supply millions with water, but the process is energy-intensive and creates waste brine. The future lies in powering desalination with renewables and improving efficiency. Both solutions, old and new, are crucial for a resilient water future. Innovation and stewardship can turn scarcity into opportunity. With care, we can harness nature and technology for water security. The smartest water is the water we don't waste. Conservation, at home on farms and cities, offers immense potential. Agriculture uses most fresh water. Switching to drip irrigation can cut use dramatically and boost yields. Fixing leaky pipes and using efficient appliances in cities saves billions of gallons. Simple habits, shorter showers, fixing leaks, planting native gardens, add up when millions participate. Policy matters. Tiered pricing and public campaigns drive efficiency. Conservation is about innovation, not deprivation. It's a shift from waste to stewardship, ensuring water for generations. Every drop saved strengthens our resilience. Smarter use is the foundation of a sustainable water future. Some of the most effective water solutions start at the community level. Local groups restore watersheds, reforest riverbanks, and clean up polluted streams. These projects stabilize soil, recharge aquifers, and reclaim public spaces. Communities revive traditional water management, like check dams and ponds, blending old wisdom with new science. Grassroots action builds trust, empowers the marginalized, and strengthens social bonds. Local knowledge and collaboration create lasting, resilient water systems. These efforts show that water solutions are about people, not just infrastructure. Community action inspires broader change and hope. When citizens unite, they become powerful stewards of their water future. The ripple effect of local action can transform the global water crisis. The story of water can be one of hope, not just scarcity. Solutions exist. Innovation, conservation, and cooperation are already making a difference. Imagine a world where every tap delivers clean water and rivers unite communities. Farmers thrive, indigenous rights are honored, and children are free to learn. This future is built on empathy, stewardship, and collective action. Every choice, conserving, restoring, innovating, contributes to a rising tide of change. We must see water as a shared trust, not a commodity. Healthy ecosystems are the foundation of water security. Equity and justice must guide our decisions. Together, we can build a just, resilient, and abundant water future for all. We stand at a critical crossroads. The path we choose will determine the future of water for generations. One path leads to scarcity, conflict, and inequality. The other, towards a more hopeful horizon through innovation and collaboration. The journey begins with a simple idea. Water is life. It's the basis of our health, economies, communities, and ecosystems. When we recognize water's true value, our choices change. This change in mindset is the essential first step. This is a responsibility for us all. We must demand more from our leaders and support sustainable solutions. And we must look at our own lives and ask what we can do to be part of the solution. The future is not yet written. The crisis is real, the stakes are high, but our capacity for change is immense. The choice is ours to make, and the time to choose is now.